can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna shake the ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, my name is Wyatt Milam, and I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home in Canova, you will find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at Par-Mar. There are literally hundreds of Par-Mar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Par-Mar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Par-Mar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
And if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Hello and welcome, Mountaineers. I'm the Wolfman, Dale Wolfley, and this is the WolfMan's Call, Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. Hope you're ready to go. Hope you're having a good day. I am. It's Wednesday, man. Ready to rock and roll. We've been rolling on. We've had some great guests already. Got great guests today. We got Tommy Robsock coming up. He was 91 through 94. He was a fantastic Mountaineer team captain, played in the Sugar Bowl, beat Miami, all that good stuff, played for the Raiders for a few years, went on to NFL Europe and played with, I think, the Barcelona Dragons. He talks about he had a great time in Spain. Well, his kid, Anthony, a big one now, is being recruited by WVU and a whole bunch of other Power 5 schools. And we talked to him talking about what's it like, man. He's also going to tell us about Penn State playing up there because he's from Berwick, just like you saw Bo Orlando yesterday. If you watched, you should have watched. Bo Orlando, 1988 team captain. Fantastic, man, 10-year NFL guy. I mean, this is it. Every day we're bringing it here on the Wolfman's Call. Every day we're bringing you players, my brothers, and we're going to bring you some more because we've got a big surprise today, which I let out of the bag a little bit ago. And that is Darryl Prue is going to join us live for the first time, live on the show. He's going to come in and tell us about the Big Bear and the transfer portal. Darryl Prue, of course, was a guy that actually played back in my era and is a Hall of Famer at WVU and he's a coach at Georgetown. Is super knowledgeable. And he was, of course, was with me with the Mountaineer Hardcourt Legends pregame this last winter. If you didn't see it, man, you better wait for next year because it was pretty doggone awesome, man. And I have something else I want to show you. I want you to know, is this a yay or a nay? Makes you kind of want to get groovy, right? Kind of intro music. Tell me if this is a yay or a nay. And let's make sure that it's not like this when I say, okay, question of the week. And this is basically what I've gotten for this is, what's the question of the week? Well, the question of the week is WVU football winning the transfer portal war? We know that basketball is, but is football? Well, and this is what I get. You hear that? I can hear it too. Yeah, that's no good. We'll go back to this right here and let's get it going. Let's get this kicked off today. Darryl Prue coming up. Tommy Robsock. All right, let's get fired up. What's this coming on? Tell me what this is, baby. That's right. This is the game changer. You see Roy Williams right there. We're going to talk to him next Wednesday night at the dinner, hopefully. That's what was a promise. And we're going to be broadcasting live from the Greenbrier, right? Game changers. What is it's about prevention of opioid and substance abuse for West Virginia youth. You know it's been a problem, and Game Changers is getting involved with all the people that are who's who in West Virginia, that who's who that gives a who about our youth and the people right now need treatment. We have to find a solution. Game Changers is getting involved and getting the solutions out there. That's what we're doing. We're going to broadcast here Wednesday evening at 6, I believe. And then, of course, we're going to be broadcasting on the golf tournament there. Hole number 1 in the old white course, baby. That's right. I'm going to be on there and bringing it for you, bringing out their ship. I mean, we got superstars are going to be coming on there. We even got coaches from Marshall, Coach Huff. Yeah, of course, Big Brian Jozwiak is going to be on there, some WVU coaches. Just so who's who. I am fired up because I want to help this right here at Game Changers and make sure that our youth at West Virginia have a fighting chance, baby. So don't blow that off. Listen to that. That's big stuff. All righty. Well, getting back now to, again, I like that. I hope it, give me a heads up. Is it good or is it not? I don't know. What do you think? Kelly McCord, tell me, man. Keith, you like this? All right, good. I got a big kick out of it. I like to dance, right? The big dancing bear. Man, I'm not talking about Bob Huggins. Okay. Today, I think that I have given you some examples of football players, my Mountaineer brothers. I've talked about what they believe that this football team needs to be. And what this football team needs to be is blue collar, baby. Blue collar right here, right? I ain't talking Rodney Dangerfield going like this. I mean blue collar, man, getting down, dirty, and tough. I think they really need that because that's what West Virginia. We talked to Frank Fear on Monday. What did Frank say? It started back when with the other coaches in the 60s, right? It had, who was it, man? It was all about our Pappy, right? Our Pappy was there. Yes, man. And of course, you got to get the Bobby Bowden. And it's just amazing how the coaches have gone on through the times. Okay, through the time. Jim Carlin as well. Through the times of blue-collar Mountaineers. And I don't think in this day and age, was Pat White a blue-collar? Was Owen Schmidt, Steve Slayton? Well, they had a ton of talent. What about that offensive line, the Sugar Bowl 5 that I told you about? Do you think they were blue-collar? Or Danny Moses there, the Remington Award winner? And, of course, you had Coach Trickett as the offensive line coach talking about a hard edge. Okay, what about Steve Dunlap and through the years, a defensive coordinator, 96, number 1 defense in the country? You had John Browning, you had Kurt, you had Bees, you had Logues, you had Charles Emmanuel, you had Van Washington, God bless him, rest his soul. But we miss you, Van. And, you had some great linebackers. Then you get into the great greats. And that's who West Virginia is. West Virginia can't go around not being blue collar. You just can't do it. That's who they are. That's what we are. And I think that's what we really have to pick up is that blue collar is hard as what is blue collar? Well, you can say, well, they did a tour of the coal mines. Okay. That's cool, man. They got that. I really like that. And they took that and they knew that what the family trip was, knowing who the family wall. I like what Neil did with that. I thought that was a really good start. Really good start. But I don't see right now an urgency. When I was watching the spring game, I'm going to go back to it. I need to see an urgency because you know why? Because what's waiting, every single practice matters. Every single rep matters because Penn State is right up the road. And guess who's coming on tomorrow? Yeah, you probably already heard it. Jay Paterno, 17 years a coach with Penn State with his father, Joe Paterno, Joe Pod, right? Of course, you have Tom Bradley that coached for 40-plus years, and they all coach together and had so much success. Well, he's coming on, and he's going to tell us exactly what's in store at Penn State. What's up with the 2 running backs that had 1,000 yards? The 2 quarterbacks that they're talking about, 2 most powerful quarterbacks in the country. What about that offensive line now? Before it was an issue, they finally have trying to figure it out. And let's talk about that defense, rated top 5 defense. This is a team that's coming back with all these draft picks and replacing these guys because it's a program that is build up your James Franklin. Franklin, I believe he doesn't like WVU. He doesn't like WVU. I think, like you got, so let's just say Rodney Gallagher, right? We got WVU, and I say we, Neil Brown got Rodney Gallagher to come to WVU from Uniontown. Okay, James Franklin, he didn't like that. So they're going to give us their full guns, right? When I talk about guns, right? They're going to give us that at Happy Valley. This team has got to go back. And Tommy Robsock, you listen to him, he says one really good thing. You got to worry about the fundamentals. It doesn't matter if there's 110,000 people all running, screaming and saying, oh, you guys stink. You guys suck. All that. What matters is if this team can stay in their own head, in their own helmets, and worry about fundamentals, worry about this and that. That's just pure focus, nothing outside. And I think that's the real key. And I think it's so important, so important. So that's my intro for today. Blue collar, baby. Do you agree or do you disagree? Or do I got to hear that again? Okay. Before we shut that off. I don't want to hear chirps. Let me know, man. Kelly McCord. Yes, you like it. All right. Well, it's cool because you got the Wolfman finding new toys to play with. And I like that very much. Okay, here we go. Check it out. Yep, it's that time. Arson Grange Hemp Dip, wolfmandip.com. If your girlfriend, your wife, your special other is tired of you kissing them with nicotine and tobacco in your teeth, well, just stop it. Stop it and go to Arson Grange. Get it at Parmar stores. Get it there. I'm telling you right now, it's healthy. It doesn't cause cancer, man. It doesn't. Get off of it. Nobody wants to kiss you. Nobody wants to smell your breath. It smells like a wet dog just out of the lake. Okay? Not a wet dog that just got showered and shampooed. Right? No, out of the lake, man. Okay? Stop doing it. Go get it. It's at Parmar stores in Little General. Or you can order it at wolfmandip.com. Or you can go and you can get cool hats and T-shirts, arsongrange.com. And that's that for being that. Now, here's what I got. Tommy Robsock, I told you to talk about Anthony. Now, this is so good right here because, this is right now telling you, how is he doing? How's the Mountaineers doing in the transfer portal? Do I hear anybody? Does anyone know how the Mountaineers are doing in the transfer portal? Let's look. What do we see? I see here, is that Massey? It says right here on the 03, and he has what? He comes from, where does he come from? I'm looking. He comes from Angelo State. 81 receptions for 1,083 yards and 9 touchdowns in 2 seasons. This past season for the Rams, he had 52 receptions for 684 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. Here he's like 6'4", 230 pounds. And because he's Division II, I'm not saying anything. So if you look at it, Colorado offered him, Central Michigan, Jacksonville State, Long Island, Mississippi State, Northern Colorado, Northern Illinois, Robert Morris, and Texas A&M Commerce, that's a Division II score. That might be 1AA right now. But Colorado offered, Mississippi State offered him, so it means that he really does have some ability. Okay, so now you got the guy from Marshall, Horton. We have receivers coming into the room. Are the Mountaineers winning the transfer portal? It's huge. You gotta have an idea. I'm going to tell you mine, but I'm going to wait because I don't want to hear this. New toys. All right, let's get ready. Tommy Robsock, 94 Sugar Bowl, or 93. Yeah, 94 was in January, Sugar Bowl. And, of course, he was a team captain. And you know what? Dude was a tough S.O.B. I'm talking about a lot. Wait till you see the pictures of him and his boy. We want Anthony here at WVU. I do. I'm going to tell you a few other things after this, but let's check it out, man. The rubber, Tommy Robsock. And now I have a special guest. We had Bo Orlando yesterday. We had Frank Fear on Monday. And now we have the dude, rubber, Tommy Robsock, 91-94 Mountaineer. Great. Played a few years in the NFL. Tommy, who'd you play with? The Raiders? Who else? Anyone else? Or just the Raiders?
No, just the Raiders for a few years. And I was fortunate enough to play at the time. They had the NFL Europe. So they sent me over to Barcelona to play for 3 years, which was phenomenal. Had a great time over there.
What an experience. And how about this, Tommy? Pass or fail, baby.
Love it, Wolf. You get a big thumbs up from me on that one, buddy.
Do I get a thumbs up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. I won't sit there and abuse you with that, but I just wanted to get your opinion. And how you doing today, brother?
Excellent. Doing good today. Working in my home office basement and getting ready to go out and do some business here. But we're coming off. We had an event here local in Harrisburg, is where I live. We had an event last night. There were 5 different high schools that came together. They called a spring fling. You know, there's 7-on-7 for the skill guys, and then the big boys go do 1-on-1s. So it was Central Dauphin East, Harrisburg High School, Hershey, and Susquehanna High. So actually ran into a Mountaineer brother last night. Remember Tim Brown?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Center, yeah. His boy Zach plays for Harrisburg High, and he's only a 10th grader, but man, he looks great. Nice looking athlete.
No kidding. All right. Well, cool. So, hey, I was talking to Bo yesterday, and he's the honorary chairman of the Big 33 game. And now the game is between Pennsylvania and Maryland, which in your day, I believe it was still Ohio.
No, it was Maryland. I think my year, 1990, it was Maryland. So,
all right.
Yeah.
I keep getting hammered with that because I always remember it being Ohio, but it's changed for a long time. Well, anyways, Big 33, so we're happy for Bo. Now we're happy to get you on board here, Tommy. You got a lot going on. You did a lot this spring with your son, Anthony. Just tell us about him, and let's begin with that.
Well, my kid is, he's 17. He's going into his senior year at Central Dauphin High School. It's a big 6A school here in Harrisburg. And Anthony is, it was a couple years ago when he would run to go get, something in the yard. I'd have to turn away. It was like a big puppy, tripping on his own feet. But now he's kind of mature and he's grown into his body. He's every bit of 6'6". He's 285, and he's turned into a football player. We brainwashed him. I got to admit, I probably shouldn't do it, but we eat and breathe football. My family, my dad, my uncles, cousins, everybody played football. So he really didn't have a choice. He's turned into a football player, and he's maturing, and he's gotten some attention from some pretty significant schools here over the last year or two. So he's excited about where he's going to take his next step.
Excellent. Let me just tell you quickly, is that what I remember my oldest son Stone was running. I told Ken, I said, "Oh my gosh, he can't even run."
I know. You got to look away. It was terrible. I'm like, dude, you're pounding the ground. The ground's not going to hurt you. I'm like, dude, be smooth, run, look like an athlete. Fool me, killing me, man.
That's so true. Okay, I had to get that out of the way. Because that's just what we go through when we've been there and we forget about where we've come from.
Yeah, for sure.
But okay, so this spring, you guys, especially this spring, you and Anthony and your family took a lot of trips. Let's talk about these trips to these schools. Who were they, and what were you thinking about when you were visiting them? Because I'm sure they're all great presentations.
We did. I'll talk about. We went to WU a couple times. I hate to say it, but went to Pitt a couple times.
I already put it out there that you did.
Virginia Tech,
yep.
Syracuse, and Penn State. So Maryland a couple times. So they're big schools. Power 5 schools, ACC and Big Ten and WU and the Big 12. So that's where Anthony's focused. I'm just putting it out there as much as my heart is West Virginia. It always has been. But this isn't about me. It's about him. Mm-hmm. So with his affinity towards Virginia Tech and Pitt, I got to stand back, let him enjoy, let him do his thing, because this is his life. It's not mine or his mom's. My wife went to WVU. My daughter is currently a senior at WVU, but this is his decision. But yeah, it's tough to sit there in a meeting at Virginia Tech or Pitt. Let me tell you, Wolf. I know you can relate, right?
Oh yeah, I can relate. In fact, my son Maverick was trying out for the NFL this year, and he had to work out at Pitt because Craig. My brother.
right.
So the Steelers and the Pitt camp are right there next to each other. So he was there. I'm seeing these Pitt signs. He sent me these videos. I see the Pitt signs. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know, right?
But hey, it's the truth. It is the truth, and a full scholarship is a full scholarship nowadays, and you have to go where that's going to take you, because no, there's no doubt that Pat Narduzzi, although I do not like him, I'm making that very clear, is a really good coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, all kidding aside, those are very good, very solid programs, and you know, like you said, we got to keep it real. It is tough though, Wolf. I'm telling you. We went to our first trip to Pitt. You know, you go in the facility and just it's similar to WU's, and they got a nice you know, atrium where it greets the guests and so on. And there's this big panther, right? This big statue of a panther, you know, and all the kids, you know, the recruits are getting their pictures in front of this thing, and the guy who the coach is showing us around, hey, you want to get in there with your boy, your dad? I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't
you know what? Because you got pictures of other places, but not. You're not gonna say I never saw on your social media one of the pictures.
No. Yeah, no. I'm good. Take the picture of the kid, not me. I'm fine.
All right, Tommy. So let's get into it then. And you went to Syracuse. Did you go to Boston College?
No.
Okay.
No.
Tell me where you went again.
This spring we went to Virginia Tech, West Virginia, Maryland, Pitt, and Penn State, and Syracuse. Yeah.
Okay. So
last spring we did Notre Dame, Purdue, some of those schools as well. Yeah.
Okay. What were the things that stood out to you about each school? What were they all the same points? Were they different? You know, what was your take on the whole thing?
I think nowadays, you know, with recruiting in general, it's way different than when you and I went through it, Wolf. You know, it's just different. And the way these coaches are asked to coach with this transfer portal, I don't know how they do it. You know, you got NIL, you know, the way that's factored in. Again, I don't know how they do it. But as far as like the facilities, the one thing that jumps out at me, and you've been to a lot of schools too, Wolf, the facilities are just phenomenal. There's so much money and that they're being pumped into these big universities through the conferences and the TV deals. It's phenomenal. So they almost, I mean, I'll take Syracuse, for example. In fact, I was talking to the coach, Coach Acuff, who's their D-line coach, last night. And, yeah, they have beautiful facilities up there, and they're tearing them down and putting new up. I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, it's beautiful.
Really?
Hey, you just got to, you know, they're starting a whole new facilities building. And I think it's beautiful to begin with. It's almost like these schools have so much money, they don't know what to do with it. And you got to keep up with the competition. You've got to attract, you know, good talent, attract players. And then once they're there, you've got to do that to keep them now. Before, once you had them on campus, they're yours for 5 years. Now you got to recruit your current team, as you well know.
Absolutely. So was there any school that stood out to you that you really liked their message? And just be honest here now. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, you know, what message or what coach was telling you that you're like, yo, I could kind of jive with that?
Well, as I'm trying to guide my kid, my son, you know, we've had the opportunity to sit in on the offensive line meetings. I mean, when you know this, you know, Coach Jacobs was like a second father to us when we played football at West Virginia, and I love him, and you know, I miss him and all that. He's passed, but you know, I've told my kid, I'm like, listen, sit in these meetings. You know, whoever this line coach is, you know, assuming they stay for your career, you know, that's going to be your best friend. He's going to be your father. He's going to be your disciplinarian. He's your coach. So he sat in with the Coach Borberly at Pitt, Coach Broswell is the line coach at Maryland, and Coach Jeff Crook is a former West Virginia coach who's now at Virginia Tech, right? So these guys, Anthony identifies with, he really likes Coach Broswell at Maryland. I mean, I think he's the type of coach that could get guys to the next level. We sat in with Coach Moore a couple times at West Virginia. I think he's a solid offensive line coach. I really do. Okay. So Coach Borberly at Pitt is a very good offensive line coach. I think the message from some of those coaches that we've spent some time with for Anthony to identify with their coaching style and the way they treat their players and the way the players respond to them, I think is important. And those 4 coaches kind of stood out to me.
Okay, let me ask you this: on a even playing surface, right? Scholarships, all that considered, about who you got your coaches. What place would you like to go to if you were playing now, based on facilities?
Boy, that's a tough one. I mean, of some of those schools, I think, Notre Dame has a nostalgia about it. Penn State, they're a juggernaut in the Big Ten, but I can't even say that because my wife and I had our son, at a practice, and she leans over to me and she's like, "We got to get out of here." I'm like, "What do you mean?" "I just can't be here." It's hard for me to say that, but because I have to be unbiased, and so does she. But yeah, I mean, Wolf, it's tough to say.
Yeah.
If anyone, not one of those really stand out from the others, to be honest with you.
Okay, I was trying to put you out there on the grill. You're not biting. All right, very good. You know what? You're so much smarter than you used to be.
You know what? What are you going to do? You got to learn something. I made my share of mistakes.
Yeah, haven't we all, brother? This is not the pod calling the kettle black, okay? Anyways, okay, Tommy, so let's get into a couple other things. Before I get to the Penn State, I wanted to actually talk about that with you, the games. But with this transfer portal, do you think that it is getting tougher and tougher to really develop these players when they're switching coach to coach?
Absolutely. I mentioned earlier, I don't know how you could coach in this environment because, you got to be careful what you say to a kid. If you say the wrong thing, "Hey, I'm in the portal, I'm out of here," and they jump from one place to another. In a time where, I'll use myself for example. I was a lot like my Anthony, where when I came to WVU, you remember, Wolf, you were upperclassman, and you took me under your wing, and I was a skinny little kid, and I had to learn the ropes. Well, I wasn't ready to play as an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old. By the time I was in my third year, my redshirt sophomore year, I was ready to step on the field and compete. But it's almost like these schools don't have that kind of time with the kids now, and because if they're not playing by their second year, they want to go somewhere else where they are going to play or where they get promised that they're going to play. I don't know how they do it. I don't think it's good for the game. I don't think it's good for the kids. I think the whole college football system loses some of the passion, the loyalty, the spirit around. These kids don't have the same college experience like we did.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't like it, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what I figured you'd say, but I'm trying to get here, and I'm not going to, because your kid's being recruited and stuff with WVU, the other schools. I'm not going to ask you the other question is if it's WVU winning the transfer portal war. Okay, I'm not going to put you in that spot.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never met the young man, Daniels, the quarterback.
JT Daniels.
Four schools in 4 years, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah, close to it. I'm done.
I mean, it was Georgia, West Virginia. Now it's Rice.
Yeah.
Before that, it was USC. I mean,
yep.
I mean, when you're 30 years old and you're sitting around a campfire and your buddies you haven't seen in a while, "Hey, what do you think about your college?" What do you say? I mean, where's the spirit there? And again, he might be a wonderful young man. I'm sure he is. I've never met him, but it's just that college experience it's changed. It's not the way it used to be. And that's not what I want for my kid. I don't think he's a jumper. I think he's going to go somewhere that he's comfortable with. And I think he's going to stay and commit. I mean, it's your commitment, I mean,
that's interesting because we're going to have to say now when these coaches are going to have to say when they're recruiting, you think he's a jumper?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's going to be a new term in college coaching. Do you think he's a jumper? I mean, you got to consider everything. So,
Wolf, in all seriousness, like I have a business now. And when I look at someone's resume, if you see a different job every 3 years, that's to me, it's a red flag.
Ooh.
There might be reasons, whatever. That's not my point. My point is someone that as soon as the water gets hot, they leave and they go to a different job. That's not what you want in an employee, and that's not what you want as an athlete. You want a kid who's going to come, he's going to work, he's going to bust his ass to get on the field and contribute and be part of a solution, be part of a winning program. And he's one of the guys that did it.
Yep. All right, brother. That's a great point. And thank you for bringing that professional experience into it. You really have grown up, brother. I'm so impressed.
Hey, I don't know, Wolf. I try.
Okay. So last question then. Okay. You played at Penn State. You grew up at Berwick. You're right there at Penn State. I talked to Bo about this. Bo can't stand Penn State and Notre Dame, right? Our two arch enemies.
Of course.
Probably who's hurt us the most through our thing. Okay. Bo or Penn State, Tommy, what is it like to go to Happy Valley? What is it like to play? This now probably 107 or 108. I don't even know if it's 110,000, whatever the stadium is now. It was incredibly huge and loud at 85,000 when I played there. I think it was the same for you. How difficult? Describe what you can remember about your feelings of walking in there, because it had to have been pretty personal to you.
It was, in my recruiting process, when I was recruited by Penn State, after our football season, my senior year, Penn State offered me a scholarship, but they said to me, after we got into Christmas, now I hadn't even taken my 5 visits yet, but we got into Christmas and they said, well, can you commit to us now? Or if not, the scholarship's not going to be there for you anymore. And I said, no, I haven't even taken my visits yet. So pound sand, so I said goodbye at that point with Penn State and never looked back. And I'm glad I did. But, I don't know. It's a hell of a program, Wolf. You got to give credit where credit's due. They got a great tradition. I personally don't like mega stadiums like that. I think you lose the intimacy with the fans when it's like that. I don't know. I don't like the freaking place. Okay, Wolf. I'm trying to be nice about it.
No, yeah. You know what? It's like this is what I'm trying to get at.
It looks like the stadium looks like hell. Okay. They got all those people. If you ever sat in a place, right? You got, they put you. Anybody could put 120,000 people in there if they have seats that are 11 inches wide. Come on.
2 of you. Okay. All right. So let's just say one last thing here. Okay. Looking at this and looking at this team, what does this Mountaineer team really have to prepare for in your eyes? Watching last year, did you watch the spring game? You went to the spring game, right?
I did. Yep. I was at the spring game, checked it out. I mean, we're going to have the Mountaineers going to have to be ready. You're going to go, a lot of these young men, at WVU haven't played in an environment like that. It's a night game. I saw it's a 7:30. So the place is going to be rocking. But you got to go in there with confidence. You go in there healthy, I hope, after summer ball. And you got it. It comes down to blocking and tackling. You're going to take some shots on the chin, but you got to stand back up and punch with them. And if you can do that and focus on the fundamentals, blocking, tackling, catching, assignments. And then once, you get in the first quarter, what's the score? 7-3, whatever it may be, you're punching with them. Halftime, 14-10, whatever it may be, you're punching with them. And when this as a player, Wolf, if you keep punching and you keep punching like Mountaineers always have, and then you never know what can happen. You get in the third quarter. When you believe you can win, even if you're outmatched to someone faster, stronger, bigger, and you believe you can win, you can beat them. You just keep punching, and good things can happen. And you know what? If we get out of there, we don't happen to win, but you punched with them, and that could still set you up for a good beginning of the season, because there's not too many schools have a non-conference schedule like WVU has this year. I mean, what do we have? We have Penn State. I mean, that's tough as a non-conference.
Yeah, sure do. Oh, thank you, Shane Lyons. Okay, because it's not like the Big 12 is not tough enough. But
right.
Anyway, Tommy, let's go. What is the names of those Bucks in the background?
Oh, that's spaghetti and meatballs back there.
Spaghetti and meatballs. All right, Tommy Robsock, thanks for joining the WolfMan's call. We love you, brother. We'll bring you back. Have a great day, dog.
Thanks, Wolf. Boom.
I love you, brother. See ya. Oh, Tommy Robsock. We call him Robber. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. He's a Berwick guy, Bo, Charlie Fedorko, Jake the Snake Kelcher, just dudes that were tough, and they really are. And so what I want to leave you with Tommy Robsock is number one is it's tough to make a choice with all these schools. You go to all these schools, they all got great facilities, they all got coaches that are cool that can sit there and relay to the players. Now I'm saying that this boy here, 6'6", 285 pounds, 6'6", 285. He's going to be a senior. Now I've said this, I've preached this, I've talked about this, and I don't understand. It's called being a legacy child. And what does that legacy mean? It means they got bloodlines. And if you see Tommy Robson, you saw him in that picture. Okay, he's about 6'4". His boy is 6'6". Okay, offensive linemen that are that tall, that grow that. He's 17 years old. 17 years old. And guess what? He's got to get time in the weight room and catch up. But boy, by year one, he's getting in there. Year two, he is ready to go. You don't throw away 6'6", 300-pounders that can move and are tough. And I'm going to tell you, Anthony Robsock is a tough SOB because he's just like his pops, just like Dylan Ray was with Johnny Ray. I'm not even going to get into it, but just like that, you could have it and have a legacy 6'6", 305-pound kid leave your program. Just like that. Now, let's change gears before I get all worked up. And I promise you, man, we're going to do some basketball. They say, Bob Huggins basketball. I got Mountaineer, hardcore legend, star. He was a star of the show. Okay, I thought I was, but no, I clearly came in like number 5. There's only 4 people usually on the show, and I was number 5. But again, let's see, Darryl Prue, what is up, my man?
What's up, Big Dale? How you doing?
Oh, just like magic, baby. Right there, and there you are. Hey, question before we even get started, man. What do you think?
Oh, I was listening to some of that, man. It was very, very intriguing. I like what I heard.
I mean, you got to dig this, right?
Yeah, yes.
All right. Hey, all right. So let me say this, okay? Now, I've been asking this question right off the bat. We're going to talk basketball transfer portal, but I want to hear what you have to say about football transfer portal because not everybody knows this, but you are very much a football fan and have followed the Mountaineers very closely. I mean, talking about you were great friends, best friends with Major Harris. I mean, it goes all the way back to that. Yeah. What is your thought process on Mountaineers football transfer portal? Are we winning the war?
I think we caught up. I think the gap was recruiting in the high school players. Then you get some older players that was good in other places. Hopefully they're a little better than what they had here that left. So hopefully it all will come together. Neil Brown was a really good coach where he was, coming to a higher level. Sometimes you need higher level players to sustain some of that coaching ability.
Well, you sure do. Now that was almost like this. You hear that?
Yeah.
You know what that means, right? Oh, no. You know what? You answered way better than everybody else has around here. I am tired. Let's see, what does Keith say? Situations are different, but what happened to loyalty and commitment? How about earning your spot, putting in the work? Well, Keith, I'll tell you what, that is true, man, before we jump in with D, but every situation is different and a story behind it for each transfer portal. So speaking of that, DP, so much has happened since the Legends the whole season, and we did it. What did you think? First of all, let's go back a little bit. What did you think of the show?
I love the show. I mean, I was looking forward to it every week. People were calling me. They was watching the show. They loved the show. I loved it. I love how, everybody was able to put their, opinions on it and pretty much was saying the same thing. So, then like sometimes some of the things we said showed up in the game, what I mean? So it kind of worked out when we knew what we were talking about a little bit, even though we're not there at practice every day. But, I think at the end of the day, I thought it was a great, great show, especially for us putting together the last minute like we did.
Yeah, we would. That's how I like to go. I like to fly by the seat of my pants. And I said, let's go. Hey, here's a news flash for everybody. Hey, DP, I play football, but no one really knows that I'm really smart at basketball. Doesn't even compare. Okay, I'm the only one who's ever been kicked out of Bob Huggins' fantasy camp for being too violent. Okay, I'm the only one that's ever been banned for life from the Bob Huggins fantasy camp because the donors weren't as tough as I was. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, let's say this though. Like when we were in school, we played basketball together at Stansbury, the football and the basketball team at the Towers. Like we were like we didn't go on the football field with y'all, but y'all came on the basketball court with us, and it was all love. It was physical, it was fun, there was no fighting, it was just. We were family, The football and basketball team to me was one. I was friends with probably the whole team, and I think, we came to y'all games, y'all came to support us. So it was just all love all the way through. And so, you were a basketball player. You was out there beating us up a little bit, but it helped us in the, when we played on big teams.
Yeah, who beat me up? Who do you think of as Coach Ford? He would throw more elbows. I mean, you know what? If he was still playing basketball for the Bob Huggins fantasy camp, he would have been banned too.
He would have been banned the first day.
There's no doubt about it.
I watched him break noses. I watched him cut people's faces all up, and would say sorry in the softest voice. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Get out of here. Yeah, we know what's going on. All right, let's get to business. Let's talk about this transfer portal. And I'm excited. Everybody seems to be really excited. I want you to tell me, are you as excited as the public in general?
I mean, the talent on this one is a little different from the talent we got last year. You got guys I looked at the ratings with Raekwon Battle, Jesse Edwards, and Kara Krishna, and they all are 94%. That's almost perfect. You know what I mean? Like, so then I started watching some tape on them. I've seen Jesse Edwards play a little bit. I think he was a number 2 ranked portal recruit behind Hunter Dickinson. And I see why. He runs the floor. He blocks shots. He does a lot of different things. And then I looked at Kerr. He's a European guy. He's very old, crafty with the ball. He can shoot it. Then you add in Raekwon Battle. I hate to say this. I like Emmett Matthews, but it might be an upgrade. He's athletic. He shoots it. He gets to the rim. He plays hard. It's not like we was asking him to give us a little bit more. This kid looked like he's wired that way.
Yeah, let me interrupt you real quick. Okay, let's go back to Emmett. Now, Emmett is done.
Right.
Okay, so Emmett, he was here, then he left, and then he came back. What's your overall thought process on what happened with Emmett? How did it work out for not only him, but for the team?
I honestly think it helped. It probably helped him to leave, to realize what he had when he came back. Mm-hmm. And he knew what, I think he knew what the expectations were. And, so like at the end of the year, he started playing really well. He found his niche. He started playing really well. And we were just hoping we got that earlier so we wouldn't be in the situation we were by the end of the year, begging for an NCAA title shot. But I thought it worked out for him. I didn't like it because I don't like leaving and, coming back. I don't know why he left. I don't know why he came back. You know what I mean? So like, Tommy was talking about the transfer portal and, getting to know players and stuff like that. I get that. I mean, I just, I know it's a new time, but like transferring 2, 3, 4 times, maybe one time because of whatever reason. Yeah. But when you're transferring, 2, 3, 4 different schools that, and you get, like you said, you get 30 years old, 40 or 50, like we are now. And you look back, it's no legacy. My legacy is at West Virginia. You know what I mean? I love my legacy. Where's their legacy? West Virginia, somewhere else. It's not a legacy.
Yeah, and it's kind of a bummer for these kids because I don't know if they really realize what they're missing yet, because you don't know it until you come back. And I say, oh my gosh, there's DP, right? Because I've been gone for a few years. Exactly. And there you are. And I'm like, yo, man, remember when I tackled you to the bushes outside the house? That's just good stuff. Good memories that last for a lifetime. And I don't think that these young men are getting that. And the problem is this. Are you dealing with controversy? Yeah. Are you there fighting it through to the end. Not every situation. Johnny Ray just jumped on there. His son Dylan just left. I could tell you what, his son Dylan didn't want to leave, but he went to Kentucky and he got signed. And a huge upgrade for him from what WVU was doing. Okay, that leaving there, that kid would have never left. That kid would have never left, but he went to Kentucky. There are good transfer portals, are good. It's good for some people, but is it good? Is it good for all this? They're missing out, man.
Yeah, I think what's like you just said about the fun we had. 30 years ago, look at us. We're still talking. You know what I mean? From 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago, freshman year, we had a snowball fight at the Towers. It was the boys against the girls, or there was the girls basketball team, it was a volleyball team, it was everybody out there. Then the sophomore year, junior year, then y'all go to, then major comes. It's a whole lot of different things they're missing out on. Instead of just getting a piece here, a piece there, then you can get all these pieces that come as one, and they miss out on that. Then some is good. I think that I had a couple of interviews with the NCAA last spring, and they said this stuff is new to them. All this stuff is new. I'm sure there's going to be new legislation, new rules as it goes on about how many times you can transfer.
Right?
Yeah, you have to. You got to improve on it. And the NIL. So they told me when I asked questions about the NIL, and they said to me, because it was ineligibility, they said to me, we know teams, we know schools, there's some people that are cheating. So why not get our hands on it so we can control it? That was the exact words. So we can control it, see what's going on instead of all this under the table stuff. And so that's what's going on with that. But I'm sure all the regulations are going to change in the next couple of years. They're just gathering information like everything else. We just happened to be in a time where we had to deal with it coming off COVID. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot at one time.
Okay. Well, let's get back to the personnel here because I really want to talk about Jesse Edwards. He's 6'11", 230. He's a center. Now, I can't remember Hugs having too many centers being 6'11" or 7-footers. Okay, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. But this guy, he's got a 94 rating. That's not for me to judge. That's for the experts. But obviously that's really good, as you said before. But what do we have to do to like a center? Like, what can he do? What does he need to do to lead this team to be successful?
Well, from what we didn't have last year, we didn't have a shot blocker, we didn't have a rim protector, and he's that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You have him and Mohammed, so you have two 6'11" guys right there. That's a lot of height, and Big O coming off the bench. So we got a lot of athleticism now at that position. No knock on James Bell. He did what he could do, but he wasn't that person as far as protecting the rim. You remember when Big O got in the game and Muhammad got in the game, and the game changed? Well, this guy's better than both of them. You know what I mean? As far as he knows where to go. He's played at a high level. He has some confidence. He has a little bit more skills. He's game ready. And I think, he averaged 14 points a game and 10 rebounds and a few block shots a game. So he knows where to go on the floor instead of just standing around.
Yeah. Okay, then let's go down here because this is what really interesting is, we had Jose Perez from Manhattan, right? The Jaspers, I believe it is. But now we got this Omar Silverio. Okay, and that's two guys from Manhattan. What is that telling you? And how good is the basketball in Manhattan? Is it fantastic? Is it this, that? What is it?
I looked at both of them. I didn't think they were that high-level guys. They looked like they're not as athletic as you want them to be at the Big 12. But, I think Perez is a little stronger. So we do go smaller. He can play that little wing position. But he's crafty. He can get to his spots. He don't shoot shots he don't want to shoot. And the one that intrigued me more between the two was Omar. Omar can shoot it. He's a little smoother with the game. He can drive. He can score. So you got him, those two, and the kid from Arizona. The whole guard situation is different. I don't know if they're going to defend like Keedy and them, but we were going to score a lot better with those guys.
Well, that's interesting. Now, what do you think of Raekwon Battle? Okay, so I don't know, but I do know this is that he's coming from Montana State. Can he handle Big 12 basketball? He's a forward, I believe, He's a senior, so he's got experience. He's 6'5", 175. He's a little light in the can, is he not?
Yeah, he's a little light. I think he's and he's not as tall as Emmett Matthews, but he attacks the rim. He can shoot the three. You know, he'll run in there. He doesn't mind driving. I think some of the points we wasn't getting last year was, you know, we didn't have nobody really to drive. It was Keedy that was driving. It wasn't a guy that was 6'5" that was athletic. And he's catching stuff off the rim, he's dunking on people. So, you know, the adjustment for him is going to be minimal because of his athleticism is premier. So the transition might be good for him.
All right. That sounds good, man. Well, let's get to what you do, because you coach on the side now, individuals, as a private coach. And you were telling me about a young man that you have that's right now he's involved in AAU basketball, but you really like him. Go ahead.
Yeah, his name is Eric Riebel. His parents are from Germany. He's living in Switzerland. His family live in Switzerland now. And he left home at 13 years old to go play pros with the pro guys, the club teams over in Europe. I get a call last summer about working him out before he got here, kind of putting a little team together to keep him ready. So it's two guys that work him out, and I'm one of the guys. And he came over in January, and man, this guy is 6'10". He is.
How old is he?
He's a sophomore in high school right now.
Okay,
he's a sophomore, 6'10" sophomore.
And he's right by you, right, in DC?
He's in DC. He's go to a school called Bullis. It's right up in Bethesda. So, I mean, the kid, even where he works like an older guy. He don't work like a kid. He's lefty. He can shoot threes. He can bang down low. He has good athleticism. I'm like, this kid, he's being offered now by everyone. Maryland just offered him. Georgetown offered him. He got some other schools. He went on the circuit recently. He played on the Adidas side of it with New World, and he is just blowing up. You know,
wait a second. WVU hasn't offered him.
Who?
WVU.
Nope, has not offered him.
Okay, well, I think what we need to do is get him on the radar if they haven't already, at least because he's a sophomore at 6'10". Is he still growing?
I think so. He has long arms. You know, he got the big old feet, long legs. Great kid. Family. His father was about my height. His father was about 6'7", maybe 6'8". Real nice guy. He trusted the person who brought him over here to help him out. So we looked at a few schools when the father was over here in September before he made a decision to go to Bullis. But this kid, he's going to blow up. You know, it's kind of quiet right now because he's playing 16s. He's not playing the 17s, but he's going to be a load. He's not a traditional center. He's more of a power forward. You know, he's not as crafty as say a Luka Garza or a Joker, but he can shoot it like them. He don't mind, you know, playing down low, and that's what I'm working with now. All the post stuff with him in the post moves, so you can learn how to manipulate a little better in the post.
All right, DP, I got a couple other things. One is, who was the best basketball player in the country last year?
College or pro? College. I love that guard from Kansas State.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to blank right now. Wait a minute. What's his name, man?
Noel.
Oh, yeah. Noel.
Yeah, man.
I called him. Wait a minute. Now, did I call him out on the show right off the bat?
Yeah.
I said, first time I saw him play, it was New Year's Eve, WVU. I said, no, the dude's unbelievable. It's Marquise, right?
Yeah, Marquise Newell. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's just get this right. Okay, you had Deuce Vaughn, 5'5" or 5'8", 5'8", running back for Kansas State, the Wildcats. Great running back, and then you had Marquise, 5'8". All right,
Right.
It's the kind of guys. Was there anybody better? You know what really was impressive is that he actually distributed like old time basketball. That's point guard. Really, if you want to see a point guard definition, the old kind that would distribute to his teammates and create plays, create offensive plays, it was him. Am I right or am I wrong?
Man, you know, like he controlled the game. He won games. I mean, like Kansas State. Well, nobody was talking about Kansas State before the season. He won games for them. You know, it's just like how he controlled the game, like you said, passing, shooting. He didn't shoot all the time. You know, he made big shots when he had to make it. He did it all the way to the end. You know, his bad games were good games for most. You know what I mean? It was hard to say that because he played hard. He played defense. He did old style basketball. He distributed. He played defense. He got his guys involved. And it's hard to find guys like him.
And he had a little behind the back pass flair, which made a whole bunch of fun for me, for an old guy to see young guys doing that once again. So I really love that. Now, let's talk about Mountaineer Hardcore Legend. What was the best thing that we did?
I think how we broke the game down. Not just, what people wanted to hear. We were very truthful in what we saw. And not what we thought, but what we saw, and it showed. In a lot of games, it showed. And I think the truth, was not being too negative, but telling the truth. And the truth sometimes is negative, because it is the truth. And sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. But we're basketball people on here talking about basketball, and three different eyes besides yours looking at it. And honestly, it became the same thing. It might have been worded different, but it was enough respect from all three of us to come to a ground. Even if we disagreed, it was okay. You know what I mean? So I think that's a part of it. It's just like we saw the same thing, and we might just worded it different.
All right. Well, Prue, man, thanks. We got to have you back out. We got to just start doing some basketball stuff, especially in the summertime, because it's going to get rolling. It comes so fast now, and I think we really needed to do it. So stay informed, keep up on the transfer portal, keep on what's going on. I mean, you got so much knowledge of what's going on in the AAU world, all that, the Nike teams, European. I mean, we need to know, man. I really, this is going to be fun. So maybe we get something here where you're on once a week giving us an update. I'll give you 7 minutes a week on a football show for the summer. No, we'll give you a 10-minute segment, man. You cool to do that once a week, maybe?
Oh, I love to do it. I kind of miss doing it. Yeah, I miss doing it. You know what I mean? Now it's light outside. We got more light in the room, so I'm good.
It was a little tired before. All right, brother. With that being said, it's time to party on out. Woo! All right, Darryl Prue, Prue, Hall of Famer, WVU, man, private coach, Georgetown, one of the best all-time guys. Gail Callett loves you. WVU loves you, man. All right, you're now going to be coming on once a week to start talking some basketball.
Yes,
all
let's
right?
do it. Let's do it.
You promised it.
I'm there. I just didn't put it. I didn't share it my Facebook page.
Yeah, you did. Well, you're rusty, dog.
I got rusty.
All right, brother. Listen, man, we're out of here, but gotta hear from our sponsors. God bless you all. Happy Wednesday. Tomorrow it is oh my gosh, Jay Paterno. How can I forget? Jay Paterno. He's 17 years, Penn State. He's gonna tell Mountaineer Nation what is up when they go up to Happy Valley. DP, love you, man. I'll see you later.
All right. Who's Keith Hawkins? Nice to see you too, my man.
Keith Hawkins, Z-Girl's father, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
Now, wait a minute. You just moved my smooth transition on out. There we go. DP, it's really nice to have you. We will see you. We're moving on out. God bless, bro.
Yep.
Dan Cava has the largest selection of new Camrys in the area, and with $1,000 off sticker price, now is the best time to purchase your new Camry. We also have a wide variety of Tundras, some featuring the all-new TRD lift kit. And don't forget, all new Toyotas come with 2 years or 25,000 miles worth of free service from our award-winning service department, which you can schedule online, by phone, or through the Toyota app. Come see us at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock.